And that's the kind of shot Jarrell has to hit. He gives himself a huge setup here and doesn't do anything with it.
Probably just a flat roll right there from Emmett Peixoto. Jarrell clips that left side wall, which just puts you into the danger zone when you're playing somebody that can step in and hit an appropriate kill shot like Emmett just did right there. Now it's 4-7. You see this nice comeback, and then it just ends with that side out. These guys, Dave, you're one of those that would come under their service line. Do you think a little bit about that? You have to make sure the ball is in play because you only get one serve out here in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
7 serving 4.
More so, Dave, I don't know if the one serve applies because out here, if you hit the ball wide, you're out anyway, even if you're playing a traditional 2-serve. I found myself not worried about the shorts
side out
as I was hitting the ball wide, which would have been a side out anyway.
Well, there's 3 straight side outs here on that no second serve call that they have going on in Las Vegas. And now
4 serving 7.
Emmett is back serving at 4-7.
But you know, Dave, Jarrell has dominated play here, but he only has a 3-point lead, and make that 2.
Point.
And you watch this and you think, well, you know, Jarrell has probably built a pretty good lead, but you find out he's only trailing or
5 serving 7.
leading by 2 points.
5-7, and there's another short ball right there from Emmett Peixoto. And that's the 4th side out of 5 plays.
Dave, having played on this court, there's a very dead board low on the front wall, and if it hits that board, it goes straight down.
7
no
serving
chance
5.
to get over the shoreline. That's why you saw Emmett laughing there. And that's a great return from Emmett. And he gives himself a setup
point
and misses it. But Dave, you see Emmett was able to put that ball in a position where Jarrell was on defense. Emmett had the shot he wanted. He was coming in, really didn't even need to hit a flat roll out there. And that's a big hop there from Jarrell. That was right in our kitchen. Amazing overhand power from Jarrell.
Watch this power right here. Jarrell just pushing Emmett out that left door. It's almost as if Jarrell doesn't realize how strong Emmett's left is. And then Jarrell goes inside out, pushes down the right, gets the point now at 9-5.
You know, Dave, when the draws were announced for the USHA 3-ball nationals, it was Jarrell to play Sean Lenning. You and I both circled that match, Dave, thinking that could be one of the great matches of the event, maybe an upset. Sean Lenning just went in there and destroyed Jarrell.
Well, I thought it was going to be the other way around.
And, you know, you weren't alone. But now I think, you know, Jarrell learned a lot from that match. And now you see him here playing with the elite and beating 2 elite players already today.
And there's a side out because inside out shots from Emmett has created these side outs and points. But I see Emmett being a little bit more aggressive out here in 3-wall than he is in the 4-wall court. Jarrell's got a lot of power backing up Dave.
Well, you know, Dave, Jarrell won a big New York City 1-wall event this summer. I believe, Dave, it was the President's Cup.
Side out.
Just blew out everyone in the field, and it was kind of like, well, yeah, why wouldn't that happen? You know, you watch Jarrell, you've been waiting for him to come into his potential, and now it's Jarrell taking a 1-minute timeout.
I'll check.
With a 9-5 lead. Dave, Emmett's had a very busy 3-wall summer, and he seems to be gradually improving with each event. You saw him go out to LaGrange, lost on a Horniak there in the final. He told me, you know, I had an allergy attack out there. I know Emmett, and I know he does suffer from allergies. He said I couldn't breathe, you know, and then he went to the 3-wall nationals where he took out the 3-time defending champion Sean Lenning before losing to Tyree Bastidas. Now here he is in another major 3-wall final. And this is a guy, Dave, who was the preeminent 1A 3-wall player in the world just about 4 years ago. It was he and Sean Lenning. Emmett had the shoulder problems. He's now finally getting himself back to where he feels comfortable playing outside again.
9-5.
Right now, though, Dave, I don't know who could look comfortable against Jarrell. Not much you can do against these drives. I equate it, Dave, to a Rafael Nadal forehand that just has so much spin and kicks up on you to the point where what can you do but just return it?
Well, it looks like Emmett is one of those guys that say, you know, you have this hard drive. I also have the same exact thing, but I'm not sure Emmett can hit it as hard as Jarrell can. And you're seeing that Emmett is trying to match that power, and he's throwing it off the court.
9 serving 5.
And that's the difference right here. About 4 different points have all been Emmett hitting the ball off the court.
Well, it's interesting, Dave, because the strength of Emmett's game is his high game in 3-wall, but it seems like Jarrell is out high game driving him. And there's the speed from Emmett. And that's an error from Jarrell. But Dave, I think Emmett has better offense than Jarrell. Maybe he switches it up and goes ground and pound against Jarrell, tries to bring the ball down a little
5
bit.
serving 9.
I think Emmett has the speed to pick up Jarrell Bastidas' kills. I don't know if Emmett has the strength right now to play this high game. And you see overpowered there to his left, which is his strongest shot.
Well, in Emmett's defense, there are some bad bounces out here on this flooring. I mean, it's a really great surface, Dave. I think everybody loves it, but there's just a lot of weird cracks that go on.
I actually don't agree with you, respectfully agree with you. I think the bad bounces come on the wall, but the floor is a very even cement. There's no cracks on it.
Let me see the ball. Emmett, let me see the ball.
I think Drell thinks the ball's broken.
Just a dead board on the front wall. And Dave, you see, as this event goes on, the boards get deader and deader. You play practice grounds here, and the walls are very solid. By, you know, Friday night, a lot of those walls are worn out. You hit enough 90-mile-per-hour missiles at that wall, Dave, it is plywood.
Point.
And there's another point for Emmett Peixoto, Jarrell, brother of Tyree, brother of our current national champion, decided to try to hit 2 walls there and send it back the other direction. He just missed, it went out the door.
I think he was going for
this is going to be tough.
Well, I think that has to be replayed.
That's up to the referee.
And then we're going to replay that.
The head ref actually stepped in there, Dave, to help out our referee.
We're just going to, if you wind up in that spot and the camera gets in your way, we're going to replay it because we can't move the angle.
That's a smart call from the referee. I mean, there's nothing worse than coming back and hitting a spectator, but then if you're hitting the camera people who are here to film you, and I guess it couldn't get any worse than that. Emmett now 6-9. Both players agree.
That's a great return from Jarrell, but Emmett plays that exceptionally well.
Point.
And then Jarrell goes for that just crazy offensive shot that he skips in.
Well, I think it was the right shot because Emmett wasn't expecting it, but he made the air. And once again, Emmett trails only by 2, and that's a beautiful shot from Emmett. There's a huge setup, and Emmett plays it safe.
That ball makes it to the front wall. Emmett goes down with the left here, offensive, and kills the ball with the left, down the left wall. Dave, that was an amazing shot from Emmett, but let's not look past what Jarrell just did right there by tracking those balls down.
Well, you have to ask yourself, if you're Jarrell, is it really worth it to track that ball down? Because you're going to lose the point anyway.
Emmett gets this tomahawk kill down the right now.
9, sir.
All together at 9.
He wasn't ready. 9 serving 9.
Our referee here, Dave, Mike Schneider, who had a great event here. I believe he's still in the 1 wall. Almost beat Emmett Peixoto this morning in the quarterfinals. And there's another point for Emmett.
I don't know what Jarrell was thinking there. That ball clearly was going to hit the side wall. That was 4 feet back. He played it as if it was going to go out the door. That ball's in. That ball's in. Definitely hit in before the corner.
So it was good.
I agree with the referee, Dave.
We may take a look at the instant replay of that when we have a chance.
9 serving 10.
I didn't have a good look at it from my...
I had a great look here. It was definitely in.
Okay. We're actually in different studios, so you have a different vantage point than me.
I've only been wrong 90 out of 100 times on my guesses, but...
All right, I saw this so short. Side out.
It was clearly short, Dave, inside the line.
Here's the replay of that ball that we said that was out
10
or
serving
in.
9.
Yeah, clearly in.
Clearly in. I like that shot right there from Jarrell. A lot of power pushing Emmett back. Emmett does the right thing.
An amazing point there from Jarrell. Wow. You know, Emmett gave him the opportunity to hit that side front shot because he served the ball right down the middle. And Jarrell did what he was supposed to do with it.
Point. Ten serving 10.
We're all together at 10. We're going to 15, Dave.
These 15-point games, Dave, are exciting. And there's that suspect left from Jarrell, but he's got a setup.
Nice get right there from Emmett. And he sends that ball up into the net, and now it's the 11th point, and somebody might call a timeout here.
And Emmett may be hearing, Dave, from the WPH disciplinary staff that we keep our fines secretive here. We don't talk about the actual fine or the amount, but we do tally them up. And of course, you know where those funds go,
10.
Dave. It starts with a T and ends with an I.
Would you call this the Cinderella story for Jarrell?
Well, absolutely. Our line judge in the way there, wasn't paying attention.
Point.
There's another point for Jarrell Bastidas, who, if I was to sum it up to this point, is just overpowering Emmett, keeping Emmett back. And when Emmett's able to get up front near the dotted line, near the short line, he's able to put it away in front of himself. But Jarrell's just not letting him get up there. I mean, he's not even letting him serve, really.
Well, you have to give Jarrell a lot of credit right now because he had a lead. Emmett came back and took the lead, and Jarrell now has summoned. That's a great serve. And that's impossible to return. The deep hook away from you. But Jarrell now, Dave, on a 4-point run after losing that lead.
There's another point for Jarrell, and
timeout.
Emmett came up and tied this score. Watch this replay brought to you by Owens Gloves.
And you know, Dave, to hit this serve, you have to keep your arm so loose, slide your hand underneath the ball, and it's just all about that whip. The looser you can keep your arm and your wrist, as you know, Dave, the more that ball will take off, and it also takes off on the front wall. If you try and muscle the ball, Dave, on the swing, it's gonna hit the front wall and die. If you just keep that beautiful, I would call it, Dave, like a wet spaghetti noodle arm, you can drive those balls to the back line with minimal effort.
So you're saying a natural, just and what would come natural to your body, instead of trying to just paddle it back up, you want to naturally hook that ball, as that ball will hit the front wall, dive down with a little bit of momentum and keep that speed back. I see a lot of guys go up there and just kind of flip a ball to the front wall, and it just seems to be so dead coming off.
Well, most guys, Dave, have their wrists too stiff throughout the swing and their arm, and they're actually trying to use their big muscles when they should be using their small muscles to hit those hooks.
13, serving 10.
Perfect shot right there from Jarrell Bastidas, who gets another point, Dave.
You need perfect footwork on that shot. Jarrell cut off the angle, he stepped in, he got his weight in the perfect position, and he just feathered that ball down the right, knowing Emmett
14, serving 10.
is crashing in from the left. And now it's game point for Jarrell, Dave. And that was almost short. And
there it is. First game goes to Jarrell Bastidas, and it's, you know, it's been a common thing lately, Dave. Bastidas defeating Peixoto in the first game.
Well, a great performance there from Jarrell. Had the momentum early, lost it middle, and clearly has it now late as he wrapped up that first game. But let me ask you about that last point, Dave, and we'll take an instant replay of it. Jarrell hits a terrible serve. Emmett's down 10-14. Emmett goes for the kill. Do you like that play there, Dave?
No, I actually thought, I think what happened here is that Jarrell hit the ball kind of somewhat close to him. I don't think it was a screen, but it does have a huge natural hook.
Clearly this is a setup. If you're Emmett, do you go for the kill here, or do you maybe play it safer, push Jarrell back?
I believe Emmett could have left that ball about 3 feet high, driving it down that left wall with a little bit of power. But I think with that hook that Jarrell put it in there, Emmett all of a sudden had this little trigger in his head, like, I believe I can get my feet in the right position to just hit a flat kill here, and it just didn't happen. I personally would have tried to drive that ball down the left wall.
Well, let's take one more look at it. What happens, Dave, on these courts is when you hit the reverse, the ball actually slows up. So as a hitter, you're thinking, Dave, that the ball is coming to you, the ball slows down, and you catch the ball out in front of yourself. When you catch it out in front of yourself, you most of the time hit it in the floor. Now, let's see if that happened there. It looked like a pretty good swing. Maybe the contact point was a little forward of where he wants it, and that's why he misses it. I agree with you, Dave. He can hit that 3 feet high with a big hook on it, take control of the rally. He could have even gone sidewall, front wall, pushed Jarrell out of the court. But Emmett chose to go for the kill there. Not saying it's the wrong play. I'm just asking you. I think it was the right play.
I think he did what his mind told him that he thought was the best shot at that moment. And I've been in those positions before where you just bend down and think that you have it.
Yeah.
Emmett, I just feel like he was a little in front of himself there. You see how he had a really wide stance on that kill shot. But nonetheless, Jarrell is just the Cinderella story of this small ball singles as he defeats Emmett Peixoto in that first game, going for game number 2 and a World 3-Wall Outdoor Championship. Now look at this. We have the current national champion, Tyree Bastidas, who's sitting in the stands or around the corner playing his match. Nowhere to be seen here, but nonetheless, he's the brother of Jarrell, who's looking for the World Championship. How would you like to be the father, Jose? Watching his
the father, Richard Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Jose
Yeah.
Bastidas?
Just
oh, okay.
Watching his amazing sons do what they do.
Well, Dave, a lot of people, Dave, particularly nationally, knew about Tyree, and they've known about him since he was 14. He's about 25 now. But a lot of people didn't know that there is a clone of Tyree, a guy that can hit the ball just as hard, really plays just as well, and for whatever reason, Dave, hasn't had the kind of success. I've always thought, Dave, Jarrell didn't have the intensity of Tyree. Jarrell kind of played the game for fun. Now I'm seeing a lot more fire from Jarrell, and you're seeing the results.
Well, let's see what Jarrell does here in game number 2, and more so, let's see what Emmett does in game number 2.
Well, Dave,
if he can change his game just a little bit here.
Well, Dave, I know you like this. I know you like when a player's trying to warm up between games and a random person from the crowd comes out onto the court and disrupts their between games warm-up. I mean, I know that happens a lot, Dave, at the NBA Finals and at the Super Bowl. You know, you're trying to get yourself ready, but, you know, the fans have the ball and the field.
Well, it is frustrating. There's no doubt about that. I'm not a fan of it, but it's going to happen no matter what happens. So,
I mean, they talk about slow play. That's the big thing now in golf. Imagine if they let the fans come out and chip and putt whenever they felt like it.
You see a handshake right there from Jarrell and Emmett Peixoto. And now Emmett, you might see a different focus from him. We've seen him going into clampdown mode when he feels like he's threatened.
Well, that's a great start from Jarrell, but Emmett defends that incredibly. I don't know how he did it.
Perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. And that's not a good shot.
That's tough right here. Emmett shouldn't get it back, but he does.
This is probably the best rally of the match. A mistake from Jarrell opens the door, and now Emmett in control.
But Jarrell still gets that ball back.
Oh, that was an incredible rally, Dave. 18 shots, but probably about the most grueling rally that you'll ever see. Luckily for these guys, it was just the first point of the game, and they had a chance to catch their breath for 3 minutes between games. Not a good serve from Emmett.
Well, that was a huge, slow, methodical hop. Natural hook.
Great get there from Emmett. Why does Jarrell stiff arm there, Dave?
Just not a lot of confidence, but he has a lot on that one.
Jarrell seems to like to take the ball from waist to chest height and kill it with his right hand in the front court. He's been successful doing that. In fact, won the 14th point of that first game with that very shot. It was a crucial point, I thought.
0 serving 1.
Dave, Emmett is going to need to establish a serve that can get him some either free points or easy setups. Thus far, he's been unable to do that. And here's a big setup for Jarrell.
Point.
And Dave, I said before the match that Emmett definitely had the advantage with the left, but you see Jarrell let that ball drop with his left and hit a mouse.
1 serving 1.
Perfect shot.
Let's watch this serve here from Jarrell. This is where he's really starting to, Dave. His serves are setting the table.
Not a good serve, and that's a complete mishit.
Yeah, but it was a great mishit. I wish mine were like that.
But he loses the point. He had a great chance to win it.
One serving 1.
And how does Emmett return that?
It's unbelievable. His mathematics are about as good as anybody I've ever seen. This could be a huge setup for Jarrell, who's got all that power right in front of Emmett, who flips it.
And I thought Emmett was a philosophy guy.
Well, Emmett somehow wins that rally.
Well, now that's 2 rallies in a row that Jarrell should have won. Now he looks completely gassed. I'll tell you, Dave, in this game, when you hit the wrong shot or don't put a shot away that you should have, you pay the price because you end up doing a lot of running, all because you made the wrong decision or didn't execute.
See Jarrell taking a lot of time to get back to the server's returners area. And that's what Emmett does. He just finds a way to keep pushing you until, you see how slow Jarrell is getting up here? This is a guy who won the first game, and he's also got, you know, a good thing going here in the second game. Emmett now just feels like he's in his zone.
Well, it was the first rally of this game that took everything out of Jarrell. And now you're seeing a little less power on those overhand drives from Jarrell. Not able to really use his legs. And that'll open the door for Emmett to play his style. And this is his style right here. You see Jarrell off the court,
Wow, nice get right there from Emmett. Drell just paddles it to the left corner. I thought Emmett did a great thing by flying that, but he hit it right to a Drell who was just running in.
This is really top level, high level handball, the highest you can get.
Emmett repositioning himself in the returners area.
Great return.
I think Emmett might have found some kind of little movement from Jarrell in that server's box. He seems to know which side Jarrell was going to serve to.
3 serving 1.
He was lined up to the left, and about 5 seconds before Jarrell served, he repositioned to the right, and that's where Jarrell served it. Maybe Emmett's been watching video, Dave.
That was a complete miss hit. Emmett somehow, and Jarrell with a mouse paddle kill off balance. But Jarrell, Dave, went with a hammer overhand fist that looked like he didn't have any purpose on the shot.
And there's Jarrell punching himself in the head there, almost to say, wake up.
1 serving 3.
You know, Dave, you alluded to earlier, you know, guys don't have to play 4 divisions, but as a player, you come out here, you're not guaranteed to be in the finals. You want to come out and play matches. Jarrell now finds himself in the finals. Should he then have dropped out of the one wall this afternoon, Dave?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I've seen it before, and these guys, they know their bodies better than anybody else, but you can't complain about being tired if you're entering 4 different events and doing well in all of them. You have to select the one that you want to, you know, I would assume that this is the one that he'd want to win more than anything else, especially with his brother out of the division. That ball just over the line. Emmett sends it out the door, and that's one of those things that you might want to remember for future reference, that I can hit that ball about dead center from there with my left and push it out the wall.
3 serving 2.
Well, it was a terrible serve, and Emmett made him pay for it. And that's a
point.
Lucky break there from Emmett. It looked like that ball was headed out of the court by 5 feet.
4 serving 2. Point.
And Emmett finally finds a serve there.
Timeout called. Emmett, timeout.
You need to start putting up tape. This isn't working. What's happening right now? South. Go all the way around. Okay, south. Black. I'm going to turn it on for you. No, to tape his chair to the tape on there. Okay.
Coaching and Timothy Gonzalez. Check in, please.
Hey, Steve, I want to make sure that match goes on. It's live. Yeah, okay. Let's see what the score is from the referee here.
5 serving 2.
Our scoreboard, our growing it scoreboard is correct, 5-2.
I see, Dave, that the tide is beginning to turn, and there's the announcing curse. And that's actually, Dave, in present tense. Just as I thought the tide was turning.
2 serving 5.
Jarrell hits one of his best shots of the match.
Point.
And Dave, Emmett had a great look at the fly kill. You know, Dave, you think that you want to hit the ball to the top of the wall, but the top of the wall actually gives you the easiest fly kill opportunity. So ideally, you want to hit the ball right where the 3-wall ball sign is in white and drive it as hard as you can. That's a good serve. Has Emmett off the court, and an amazing shot there from Jarrell.
And Emmett was just running in as fast as he possibly could, but Jarrell just was able to cut not just hit the ball low, but he also cut the speed in half.
It was the only shot he had.
Yeah, it was just a
Emmett
perfect
hit such a good shot that it was going to be off the court.
And you can see Bastidas is just
4 serving 5.
Is just tired, but there's just this will inside of him that's pushing and pushing, just much like those tough mutter.
Well, Dave, I think a world championship will give you that will, if anything would. And a great shot from Emmett.
Side out.
You can't play patty cake with Emmett. Get him out. Get him out.
5 serving 4.
5-4.
And you see what I mean, Dave, with that return of serve, and that's a good shot from Emmett. There's a big setup, and he puts it away.
Point.
And there's another point right there. Emmett has that nice little corner kill that he does. It's an inside-out shot from him, and he does it with a little bit of power, but it seems to be in the right spot.
And Dave, if Emmett is going to go on to win this match, it would be his second tiebreaker of the day. And a low percentage shot there from Jarrell.
And there's another one, a freebie for Emmett, as now he seems to have a system with Jarrell.
7 serving 4.
But only a 3-point lead. And that's a great shot from Emmett. Taking control of the rally. Another great shot. Oh.
Side out.
Emmett said yesterday, Dave, in his first round, down 12-1, he said, I just didn't even know how to play this game. Wasn't used to the courts. He drove in, got right on the court after about a 7-hour drive. Was basically losing to a mid-A player 12-1 before he started figuring the game out. I see him getting better with each
4
game.
serving 7.
Starting to understand the strategy and the shot selection.
With as tired as Jarrell Bastidas looks, Dave, are you surprised that he's not taking a timeout?
Well, you only have 2, and he knows that if he's going to win this game, he'll probably need them later in the game.
Point.
There's another kind of an unorthodox shot, but it was certainly the perfect one because Emmett was just so far away from that.
Well, Emmett had a beat on that, and it just
5
seemed to
serving 7.
hit the corner and slow up. You thought it was going to come out a little bit hotter. And that's a big mistake. Emmett off balance there, and a bad shot. And Dave, we know it's easy from here, but this has been the worst rally of the match so far. What a get from Emmett, and he's back in the point. Oh, and Jarrell goes behind him. That's a good example, Dave, of using your opponent's close play against them. Emmett rushed him, got so close, and Jarrell just popped the ball right behind him. He said, if you're not gonna give me a shot, I'll just blast the ball right behind you. You're already moving to your right. And for people out there that say, hey, my opponent's crowding me, pound the ball behind them.
Yeah, that behind the shot right there, it just takes like 4 or 5 extra breaths out of Emmett, even though he didn't even try for it. It's like a dagger, somebody punching you right in the gut.
An amazing serve. And how does Emmett defend that to the top of the wall?
It's just a great return. Now Emmett's in the driver's seat here, and he pushes Jarrell out the door, and it clips the side door and comes back the other direction.
Jarrell has to be thinking, what do I need to do here? I hit my best serve of the match. It was returned to the top of the wall.
7 serving 6.
This place has gotten really nuts, Dave. There's a lot of people grouping around to watch this men's finals.
And that's way out. And Emmett, Dave, is gonna see if he can grow it, the lead.
Well, Jarrell tried to use a fist return right there, and he just pulled the ball
6.
off the wall and out the door.
Oh, a terrible error from Emmett.
Emmett lost the first game. He's trying to force this one to go to the tiebreaker.
You don't see Emmett make a lot of errors like that with his overhand left.
Just a strange misjudgment from Emmett, but he still
6
has the
serving
lead.
8.
Jarrell's still tired.
You have to be aware, Dave, of your opponent when they seem tired. It almost affects your game because you start playing a little bit differently because you think your opponent's tired. You think, well, I'll just start moving around. You find out that your effectiveness goes away.
Wow, how did Emmett get that? And then a mouse right there from Jarrell, and Emmett says, in your face.
That was a sidearm reverse fist from Jarrell, and that's why Emmett gave that expression.
7 serving 8.
Here's the replay. And then look at that reaction from Jarrell Bastidas, who is now serving to tie the game, I believe.
Point.
That's exactly what we're going to be able to do as Emmett almost runs right into our line judge.
Timeout. It's your first.
Sal, you have to get them out of there. I told you that. They have to be out.
Line judge getting in the way of the players running off the court here as we're trying to respect a little bit more of the players' privacy, and now all the players and the fans are running across the court here as there's a little bit of a tobacco going on. It's the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball and Racquetball Paddleball Championships in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino, presented by Echelon. And a ton of volunteers to include 3wallball.com, World Outdoor Racquetball, and Ahern Construction, as well as IRT, CPRT, Military Racquetball Federation, and the World Players of Handball. We're going to go to Sal Duenas right now really quickly on the wireless mic, who's standing on the court. I'm going to ask Sal, what is just going on right now with this crowd?
I saw him slow down.
I think just trying to get control the people out here in the crowd. They're kind of getting too close to the court, so just had to get the crew out here to move them to the side. But we're coming back to the play now.
Let's go back to the play, just like Sal said. We're just trying to get the crew and the fans off the court. And the players also want a little bit of that break, but I think it might have broke some of Emmett's momentum, Dave.
Well, Emmett, Dave, had just lost the last 2 points. So
9 serving 8.
I'm not sure he had much momentum going into that break.
Well, you can lose 2 points and still feel like you're not out of your game plan, but let's see what Jarrell does here.
Jarrell got unlucky there, Dave.
Oh, wow.
That side wall.
Play it again.
And those glasses, Dave, will be broken. And Emmett will probably need to go into the crowd and find another pair.
We need to turn Dave Fink's microphone down just a little bit. Which glasses are we referring to? Emmett's?
Yeah, Emmett's goggles. He was so frustrated that he had to replay that point because Jarrell crashed into the camera that Emmett threw his glasses down on the ground. I don't know if we have a replay of that.
Well, that's just a frustrating thing, you know. That's where we're staying with the camera. That's where the camera's at.
And you see, Emmett did have to get new glasses, Dave. He came in with green ones now.
That was an incredible shot that Emmett made right there. Really high, deep, and that ball pushed out over the top. But unfortunately, it was right into their camera operator. And
it's hereditary.
It's going to be a replay.
I don't think anyone got that. I like it, though.
You know, it's unfortunate, Dave. Jarrell was strong enough to return that ball. He couldn't have done anything with it, though. There was only about a 10% chance he could return that to the wall.
Well, then that means you need to
9
replay
serving
it.
8.
Well, I agree, but even had he returned it, it was a huge setup.
Well,
it would have been.
I saw a setup earlier today where the guy hit the ball on the ground and it lost a match.
So that's a Staj.
No, it happened in one of my matches, so I know it happened. And there's a side out. Emmett's back in the service box. Trailing by 1, he lost the first game, and he wants to get to 15 first here. Dave Fink's...
8 serving 9.
Is your earpiece a little too hot right now? Turn Dave's microphone down back at the bus, who's doing a great job for the World Players of Handball's broadcast crew.
Well, certainly he's doing a great job, but he is going to be fine for this microphone issue. And Dave, you see Jarrell really pumping himself up right now. That expends a lot of energy. That even though he is pumping himself up, when you're Emmett catches the side wall about 10 feet from the front wall and rolls it out. A little bit lucky.
8 serving 9.
But Dave, that yelling takes something out of your lungs. It takes about 30 seconds to recover from that.
So you think when Jarrell's giving himself a pump up, he's actually hurting himself?
Yes.
Well, out here, it's so humid that it just sucks all of that condensation out of your mouth. I think you just should try to breathe through your nose if you can. I'm not a doctor, though, and I did try to play one on Halloween once.
Side out.
And there's another one from the WPH Sportsmanship Committee. Dave will be
9 serving 9.
Well, the Sportsmanship Committee is going to look at the referee for not teeing him up, not necessarily.
Well, David, it's very much like the NFL, where even if you're not penalized, you can still get fined.
Oh, there's another side out here as Emmett grabs that ball, steps back into the server's box, trying to get to 15 first. He's 6 away.
9 serving 9.
To force a tiebreaker.
Remember, David, game number 1, Emmett actually led 10-9. An amazing shot from Jarrell.
That's just a terrible serve from Emmett.
Yes, but credit to Jarrell for going for the 42-foot,
9 serving 9.
6-inch high kill shot.
9 serving 9.
Jarrell didn't hear the...
I said it.
Jarrell didn't hear the call from the referee, and Jarrell gets a I said it from the referee.
Good return from Emmett. Best return you can hit there. Now he's in control. Hits a great shot.
Side out.
And Jarrell did what he probably is the only thing he can do is just kind of go down on one knee and try to paddle that ball back. It hits that sidewall, Dave, and it's sort of unorthodox. It'll kick that sidewall and flip back up in the air. At least that's what it feels like. And there's a terrible return right there from Jarrell Bastidas. And now 10-9 for Emmett Peixoto.
Haven't seen Jarrell make many errors like that one.
10 serving 9.
Looked like he almost relaxed a little bit too much on that shot. And now Emmett will be in control of this rally. And there's a big setup for Emmett.
Well, it's just not, I didn't think that was the right shot from Emmett, but it was just enough to get past Jarrell, and there's another point.
Timeout. Just a second. Timeout, Emmett.
And that's Jarrell's last time out here in this second game. Players are allowed, Dave, to take a 15-second drink break. We don't see any of them using it, though.
Let's go quickly over to Sal Duenas, who has the wireless microphone. Let's go to Sal Duenas.
Not sure, Dave, we'll be able to hear from Sal as this timeout looks like it's just about over. Emmett Peixoto staying in the court. Doesn't want to lose that momentum. Sometimes you come out and sit in the crowd and take a break and you've lost the mo that you're building. Emmett isn't about losing mo, he's about growing it.
Well, he likes to grow mo. Grow mo trophies in his trophy case. But he's staring there. You can see Emmett trying to look at that side wall, and he's one of those guys that just knows a lot about physics, a lot about math, and he tries to figure that into the court when he's sending the ball off the court or hitting the sidewall first. And he hasn't been completely accurate here, so you see him just studying the court, maybe formulating a game plan, clicking that side wall there, putting it back into play. Now this one almost goes out the door like you wanted, and that's just a flag kill. Nothing you can do with that.
Jarrell looks really spent right now, Dave. If you're Jarrell, do you push to try and win 6 of the next 8 points, which you'll need to do, or do you maybe rest for the tiebreaker?
I say rest for the tiebreaker.
Okay.
But don't completely give up either.
Point.
Until maybe now. But when I say don't do that, you might just find something that you see a flaw in the game that you might want to use in the tiebreaker. So you just play it out.
13 serving 9.
Well, Jarrell has no timeouts remaining. He'll need to score 6 of the next 7 points scored to win this match, and that's a good start.
That's the power from Jarrell right there.
Nine serving 13.
Pretty good serve there from Jarrell. He has the fly kill.
Point.
And he executes it, Dave, with a really nice paddle off the wall fly kill.
Behind you.
Jarrell slowly walking up to the front court there to get that ball, gather it up. And Dave, he's only 3 points away from tying Emmett.
10 serving 13.
5 away from winning the Open Championship. Let's see how he focuses here. The Cinderella story is Jarrell Bastidas. And there's an unfortunate ball flies into the court, hits Jarrell, and now it's going to be a reserve. Somehow Emmett seems to be pretty comfortable with the reserve.
10 serving 13.
I wouldn't say that was a huge setup by any means.
I'm not saying it was a setup at all. I'm just saying that.
Oh, no. And that's just a terrible serve.
I just said it was an unfortunate
13 serving 10
situation.
All right. Nice return from Jarrell, but Emmett likes to play this kind of game. And a perfect shot there from Emmett.
Wow. Emmett Peixoto showing you why he is a multiple national 3-wall champion here with that
14 serving 10.
Driving ball out the side.
Game point now for Emmett. Goes on 1 foot. And that's a setup for Emmett. And he just misses that.
Those are so frustrating when that happens to you when you're playing and you think you hit the right shot and then it sails out by 6 inches.
10 serving 14.
It's nothing worse, Dave. I thought that ball was out the left door. And it was a late call from the referee. I don't know what you saw, Dave.
I thought it was out. Rudy Cruz is our line judge over there. Don't see him. Oh,
the referee said
standing up, actually.
14 serving 10.
Good serve from Emmett. Nice return.
Wow, look at that shot right there from Emmett, who takes game number 2 here and forces the tiebreaker, and this crowd is going to love what they're going to see here. Both of these guys seem to be a little bit tired. Emmett with a little bit more mojo than Jarrell at this point. It looks like Jarrell's just physically fallen off the shelf, Dave.
Well, I'm not so sure of that. I think Jarrell's serve was defended better by Emmett in that game, and Emmett was able to get into his own style of game there, impose himself on Jarrell.
I'd like to hear from Sal Duenas. Who's sitting courtside with his microphone. See what Sal says about the action here on this live broadcast. As Emmett Peixoto is trying to hydrate himself in this Vegas heat. We're on the Strip at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. You see a lot of players walking across the court here. This is the time that you're going to do it, Dave. I know you have that problem with players walking across the court, but this is the Vegas Strip, and they're coming in and out. But we're going to go to Sal Duenas really quickly just to get his impressions of what he saw there between Emmett and Jarrell Bastidas. Emmett made that comeback, had a nice little push. Sal, what are your thoughts from what you saw?
I was watching the left line, the last 3 or 4 rallies, and it looks like Emmett got in that zone. He started killing, and he went for the shots. A couple rallies before, he wasn't going through those shots, and he got those shots, and he came back. He came back for the win.
Yeah, Emmett definitely, Sal was able to do that. I mean, he worked it left and right. He was able to keep Jarrell in the backcourt. Jarrell, by the way, is one of the best backcourt players I've seen. But nonetheless, Emmett's really good up front. So you're watching this World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Championships. This is the men's small ball finals where Emmett Peixoto going up against Jarrell Bastidas. You have to give both of them a round of applause for how they've kind of handled themselves here, Dave. Jarrell, first of all, for just getting here.
Well, now that he's here, Dave, I don't think he's going to be too happy with second place, particularly after winning game number 1. You know, Dave, a trend that we've seen quite a bit in 3-wall is guys losing the first game and coming back to win the match. We saw it a lot this year at the National Championships, and we've seen it here in this event as well.
Well, game number 1 went to Jarrell Bastidas as he takes down Emmett Peixoto, and then Emmett comes back and does the same thing in game number 2. And this is one of the bigger crowds that Emmett and Jarrell have seen in their handball careers, with players all over the place here, not just on the back grandstands, but off to the right. You saw this big line of natural big ball players off to the right of this screen. They're now kind of meandering over to their sections.
You see Jarrell's lovely girlfriend, Nai Lu, who is also a pro handball player, cooling down, toweling down Jarrell. And Dave, we are now have exceeded our 3-minute time limit between games, but not so sure, Dave, that there's going to be any penalty for that. Now, interestingly, both guys scoring 10 points in those first 2 games, so we will coin flip to see who serves. Now, that can be a big coin flip, Dave.
Well, I didn't see too many dominating serves coming in from Jarrell at all during that second game, but I guess in a tiebreaker, when you're only going to 11, every serve matters, and you can only score points if you're serving. So you'd want to get that first serve, in my opinion, in a tiebreaker. I don't know any scenario, unless it was rally scoring, where you want to be returning serve in a tiebreaker. So these guys want to get out there, get their points on the scoreboard, see what they can do here immediately. I've seen guys jump out to 6-point leads in a tiebreaker. It just takes all the momentum out of your opponent. So of course you want to serve first. And we'll see who gets it on this coin flip.
Kevin Booth breaks the lead. Good swing. And then the Leosa. Court 5. Booth breaks the lead.
Emmett, call it. Heads or tails?
Court 5.
Heads it is. Tails. Jarrell, you serve first.
Jarrell Bastidas wins the coin toss for the tiebreaker. For those of you watching at home, thinking, well, doesn't the guy with the most points serve first? Yes, but both guys scored 25 points cumulatively in the first 2 games. Jarrell wins the toss. Not a good serve from Jarrell at all. And not a great return either. And Jarrell goes low. Emmett went to his acrobatic, Dave, I would call it an air somersault, where his feet actually end up on the side wall after he's done hitting. Usually he makes that shot, didn't make it right there. Pretty good serve from Jarrell. Nice hop. Neutralized the rally, though.
I thought that ball was out. Referee didn't say anything. Line judge didn't say anything, and Emmett gets the side out.
Well, our line judge did say it was out, but he's letting the ref call it, and they're coming to him with appeals.
I saw the ref make that hand gesture. I wasn't sure what he was doing there, if he was hanging 10 or saying the ball went out the right side. He is from California, though.
Why does Jarrell take that with his left? I guess that's why, Dave.
Yeah, well, that's the answer. I mean, you answered your own question.
He answered the question for me.
You thought he was going to step in and maybe fist that ball down the left wall, but instead he stepped back and just coolly killed that ball with his left hand.
Great serve.
That's right, I said coolly.
Big setup, and he drives the ball.
Side out.
Referee said side out. Emmett should be serving.
No, that ball was good. Rudy called it good. It's not Andrew's call. Andrew can't see that line. That ball was on the line.
Andrew said it was good. Side out.
Oh, Dave, this ball is on the line.
I thought out. Again on that replay, it's out.
Usually go
Let's watch it again here, Dave. Look, the ball is hitting. Oh, it's hitting the line, Dave. Might be hitting the line. No. Let the referees call this the way it's supposed to be called.
0-7-1.
Emmett is now serving. It's too close to call. If we were able to zoom in, maybe.
Well, the judge on that line actually called the ball in.
Well, I think that judge might have been right.
I thought it was in when I saw it. And we'll see you, Dave, if this affects Jarrell. Jarrell told me he got a bad call against Sean Lanning, just couldn't play after that. He openly admitted that.
This ball was on the outside of that line, so.
Well, any part of the line is good.
Yeah, but it's so hard to tell. And look at that left-handed kill shot from Emmett. Bends his knees and just hits that ball exactly where he wants to with a little hop to the right.
2-7-1.
Jarrell knew that he was beat on that. Now, all of a sudden, it seems like there's a little bit of momentum out of his knees.
Well, Jarrell's upset about that call, Dave. It's cost him now 3 consecutive points.
3-7-1.
He's got to put that behind him. Bad calls are part of the game. Now make that 4 points. Jarrell's clearly frustrated here.
Well, he saw a ball fly over his head from another court.
Emmett.
They're going to play this over.
Did the ball come across the court just now?
There was a ball that flew from the right over the top, and it was like a bird flying over, and Jarrell kind of flinched. And now Mike Schneider doing the right thing.
Right in front of him? Play that again. The ball came right in front of his face across the court. Yeah, it came right across here. Yeah.
You saw Emmett was upset, and then he understands. That's what happens out here in Vegas. It's just an unfortunate thing, and maybe this is a sort of a Dave, maybe this is one of those get-backs or whatever from that ball that hit that line, but you didn't see it, I don't think. That ball flew straight.
I did see it.
It's about maybe 3 feet over Jarrell's head. I don't personally agree with that, but in competition, you never know. I would have argued it. That looked like a double bounce. Emmett did call it.
Oh, call two. Nice call.
As we're out here
1-3.
Growing it.
Jarrell needs to bear down here. This is where experience comes into play, Dave. Emmett has a lot of big match experience.
Nice hop there. Emmett is kind of like he's taken off guard just a little bit.
Jarrell played that perfectly. And Emmett with a terrible error. How does Jarrell, Dave, flip that ball that just clips the side wall? He catches the top of the wall there.
I don't know. I almost thought it was a miss hit when he hit it, but it was a perfect miss hit if that's the case.
Well, it's one of those shots, Dave, that you're just trying to get the ball back. And he was fortunate to get it all the way to the top of the wall. 15 feet and 11 inches high.
Nope, double bounce. Emmett called it on himself, and there's another point now for Jarrell, who's making a comeback here.
You know, Dave, if you're Emmett, you have to think, well, Jarrell's taken every ball from chest height. I'm
three.
safe, but he kills him from there. Amazing serve.
Point.
And Emmett misses that by 2 feet.
Now you see Jarrell yelling again. You say that's not good.
Well, you saw what happened when he yelled last game, Dave. He didn't score another point. So no, I don't think it's good. Just Dave, having played out here, yelling to pump myself up was more tiring than any rally that I played.
Emmett Peixoto, you see there working the water bottle, just trying to get a little bit of cold water into his system as you see the crowds here starting to fill up the stands.
Dave, Emmett spent 40 seconds of that 50-second timeout fiddling with his water bottle. I don't know if we've used the word fiddling before on air, but
well, we did it in Chattanooga, Tennessee once, but it wasn't live on the air.
Right.
A lot of fiddling there.
Yeah, quite a bit. From Emmett especially.
Emmett was trying to fiddle.
He
I don't
did
think
fiddle.
the crowd was into the fiddle.
Not so much, actually.
See Jarrell walking back to the service box where he was down 1-3 and now up leading 4-3.
4 serving 3.
And there's just been a big change of momentum here.
Well, I don't know if there's any momentum right now. These guys are so evenly matched that each guy is scoring 2 or 3 points at a time. And Emmett has a knack for winning these close matches. He came back from match point down against Sean Lenning just a couple of weeks ago. And that's a good shot, and it just catches, and Emmett does exactly what he should with that ball. But Emmett trailed 20-16 in the second game against Sean Lenning after losing the first game, came back to win that, then beat him 11-9 in the tiebreaker.
3 serving 4.
Also beat Mike Schneider 11-8 in the tiebreaker today. That match was tied at 8, and Emmett goes for the
side out.
There's a nice little kill shot there from Jarrell. He's pushing Emmett back, and if he can keep Emmett behind him.
Well, Emmett's very frustrated because he goes for that 2-wall pinch shot that you see some of these guys hit so well, and he just doesn't seem to have the right feel for it or the right angle. And I know, Dave, you talk about his mathematical abilities, but and that
side out.
Dave, would you call that dive a Courtney Peixoto? I mean, he ended up facing us here in the booth.
It wasn't normal, but
we want to say congratulations to Courtney Peixoto, Dave, who just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy just 7 days ago.
3 serving 4.
So congratulations to the Peixoto family. A very happy time for them.
I'm sure that family is really happy.
They always are. There, Emmett gets it.
Point.
And he worked the math out, Dave.
You're not going to let me down for that math call.
How could I?
4 serving 4.
We're all together here at 4 now.
That's a great shot from Emmett. I think it was out.
It's out, side out.
I believe, Dave, that the judge on the side should be calling the balls on the line, not the ref. The ref's in the middle of the court. The line judge on the sideline has the best view. Jarrell tried to sneak one down the right, gets a huge setup.
Point. You got it, yeah, but that's not a call. You just gotta.
Mike, you can do that.
What?
You can do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
5, you're allowed. Sorry, I wasn't sure they were allowed to do that. 5 serving 4.
It's all been written in the rules, Dave, which have been posted for 3 months.
I'm confused. What could he and could not he do, Dave? Explain a little bit.
Well, he went out for a quick drink of water and to wipe his face, which is a 15-second break, and players are allowed to take that at the discretion of the referee. Players don't even seem to know about it.
Emmett knows, and that was a screen called by the referee.
Oh.
Emmett's upset about that. He's like, I'm not screened. I'm on the left side of him.
Oh, Dave, what kind of call was that? Is that a
5 serving 4?
Was that as bad as the call that the referees missed on the left sideline at 1-0 in this tiebreaker? I don't know, but it wasn't good. That was almost a double screen. Jarrell would have been out. An amazing shot there from Emmett.
Side out.
You really have to put that ball down. Otherwise, and Jarrell disappeared into the sea of about 300 people there trying to catch a glimpse of this action.
4 serving 5.
Oh, wow, that's a crazy miss hit right there from Jarrell, and it's almost as if he just didn't see the ball, or
I believe that's a nervous error.
5 serving 5.
And that's a great return.
Yeah, but Emma's got a good left hand, and that ball just flips up. And look at that shot from Jarrell, just out the door. No, it's a side out.
The ball clips the line. I thought it was going to be out by about a foot, Dave. We want to welcome in our WPH contributor,
5 serving 5.
One of our best, Derek Piper, joining us in the booth. He's not mic'd up though, Dave, but did want to acknowledge him and thank him for all he does for this game. He is growing it.
That's what it is. We make sure to pay homage to those that are growing it.
Well, Dave, there's a number of different people that can grow it. There's the contributors who are growing it. There's the players who are growing it.
The coaches that get the kids onto the court, those that run tournaments like Tom and Javi Flores and Andrew Fernandez, but Derek Piper, donations, benefactor,
6
promoter,
5.
growing it. Ring it up.
It's been rung.
6-5.
Just goes to show you at home, Dave, that there's lots of ways to grow this game, and that's a terrible serve.
I don't know if that's a loss of focus where you just say, I'm going to do that.
Looked like he was trying too hard to fake Emmett out.
5 serving 6.
He was trying to sell the serve to the left. And Emmett will get it.
Yeah, but so does Jarrell. Now Emmett's in the driver's seat here. He has a great left hand, inside out from Jarrell.
Emmett could have gone 2-all with that shot.
Emmett wants that. He wants it. The ref's going to give it to him, and Jarrell's able to get it, and he gets the best shot we've ever seen. Oh my gosh! That's an unbelievable ending to an amazing rally. Referee lets him play through, Dave, and then Jarrell hits a mouse left corner kill.
Never seen anything like that, Dave. He jumped over Emmett after a 31-shot rally, off balance, flat rolled it.
Now here's where it all happens. Emmett falls down, Jarrell comes in, Emmett jumps over. He wants the shot. Jarrell does not give up, and he hits a flat kill right there and then yells to the crowd, who, by the way, yelled back.
I don't think anyone wasn't yelling after that rally, Dave.
6 serving 5.
It was one of the most exciting moments here in the live broadcast I can remember. Jarrell now at 6-5. Let's see if that will be the one that we circle on the scorecard. And Emmett hits it out.
Point.
There's another point.
And Dave, this is intimidating for Emmett. Now, Jarrell yelling, he's pumping himself up. Emmett's made a couple errors, lost a couple points he thinks he should have won. And Dave, believe me, that starts to get into your head. This guy's a machine.
Here's that serve. Oh, just over. Perfect shot right there from Jarrell. And he hits it in the best position that he could possibly hit it. And there's another point, and Emmett's going to call a timeout.
Dave, we're going to have a 1-minute break here. Let's take an instant replay of that last rally. That was one of the best serves that Jarrell's hit all match. Emmett returns it and does pretty well with it. He came in, he had the perfect angle, and Jarrell shoots the wide angle right corner kill that just tails away from Emmett at 45 degrees. And Dave, I believe this is the point where Jarrell jumped over Emmett. I was talking about the very last point where Jarrell hooked the serve out wide on the left.
We're just going to watch this amazing replay.
I don't think you can see this enough.
Yeah, we're going to see it a lot more than just this.
This could be the new mantra for the WP. This point right here.
Wow, that's an unbelievable rally right there. We're just going to make a whole highlight reel just of that rally.
Absolutely incredible. Not sure we're going to have time to go to that very last replay, as we only have 10 seconds left in this timeout.
But we're going to do it anyway. Here it is. Watch this wide corner right there. What a beautiful shot that is. If you're at home, rack that one up and remember it, because that opportunity comes around a lot of times. You see guys hit the ball into the front wall, into the side wall, and it checks back to the middle as a setup. You see Jarrell uses more of that shoulder strength, goes to the right wall and pushes it out the door. That was an amazing wide corner. I would call it a wide corner pass. It wasn't necessarily a kill shot, but it was certainly unbelievable nonetheless.
Well, I think the point that he dove on top of him was unbelievable. I'm not sure that that routine corner kill was unbelievable. Good shot, though.
Well, I've never been able to do it. It was unbelievable to me.
And is that a screen?
Well, the ball hopped back.
How does Emmett get that? And he defends it too. Jarrell slows it down. Oh, and Emmett.
Point.
How does Emmett make that error? Jarrell basically said, I'm just playing safe here. Emmett, I think, went for the 2-wall shot, and that's what happens, Dave. You get it in your head that you have to hit this 2-wall shot. You're not comfortable hitting it, and you just make errors with it.
Yeah,
you're better off just playing your own game. Come out here when no one's around and work on that 2-wall shot. Don't work on it in the tiebreaker of the World Championships.
Yeah, that high 2-wall shot is just about 20% effective. Those that know how to do it, and he sends the ball out the wall, off the court. And Dave, this is the second time he's done something like this.
Well, that wasn't even close.
5-9.
I mean, Dave, if you're serving at 9-5, do you play it safer and not so close to the lines? Or do you go for that? I don't know if he needs to go for that there.
If Jarrell scores a couple more points,
5-9.
he's going to have a world title out here in Vegas.
Not a good return. Emmett fists that, and Jarrell with an amazing paddle kill. Emmett knows it. Gave him his props for a great shot there.
You're giving a traditional 1-wall player an opportunity to paddle kill a front wall shot like that? Come on, he's automatic.
Dave, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. Great return from Emmett. Big setup.
Oh, look at Jarrell. He floors it, and there's another point, and this could be the very last one.
That's not a hinder there. I mean, Emmett had no chance to jump over him there.
Well,
I agree with Emmett here.
I disagree with Emmett.
Emmett had a chance at that ball.
But the big rally of the tournament, Emmett jumped over him and did the same thing. But
I just don't think he had any chance to get it. He was blocked out completely. Match point now, Dave, for Jarrell.
Let's see what Jarrell does. I can't see the court. And there it is. Look at that emotion from Jarrell Bastidas. Wins the World Championship 3-wall ball outdoor games here in Vegas, and he gets a round of applause from the crowd.
Just look at that close-up with Jarrell Bastidas. Just absolutely incredible for this young man, Dave, to have achieved one of the greatest titles you can achieve in outdoor handball, and he earned it today, Dave. Emmett Peixoto was game as always, came to play, and Jarrell just beat him at his own game. He beat him with the drives. He was a little bit more aggressive and offensive, and you can see now his brother coming in. And this is a great moment here, Dave, as the two guys shake hands.
Jarrell is just completely spent trying to make it over to the broadcast booth. He just can't even make it, Dave, because he's done. I mean, Jarrell's trying to get here, but he just looks like a man on a mission to get back to a hot tub somewhere. Unbelievable. Jarrell Bastidas, who is completely spent after winning a world title. That's 2 defeats by the Bastidas brothers from Emmett Peixoto, who tried to make it to the finals at the Nationals and now here at the 3-wall ball outdoor championships. Let's go to Dave live right now with Jarrell.
Jarrell Bastidas, absolutely unbelievable match, unbelievable tournament. Talk to us a little bit about that rally. You jumped over Emmett after a 31-shot rally and flat rolled it in the left corner. It seemed to be the turning point.
Yeah, I mean, I went for it. I was really scared, but I knew he was coming up. Like I guess in my peripheral, I saw him getting up, so I figured I got to shoot it. But I felt a surge of energy after that, you know.
Most tournaments, Jarrell, are contested over 3 days, maybe even 4 days, 5 days. You beat 3 of the best outdoor players in the world in the span of 8 hours. How does that feel?
To be honest, I was taking it one game at a time. Like the very first match, I never expected to make it this far. I just took it one game at a time, and even though I would lose a match or I would be down, I just kept fighting, and I think that's what. Yeah, I mean, I never fought so hard. I think this is the hardest I ever fought in a tournament.
Jarrell, I've been watching you for a lot of years. You're kind of a Northeast cult figure. Everyone knows the kind of potential you have. People here across the country and across the world haven't seen it yet. Now you've arrived. You're now a world champion. How does that feel?
Words can't describe. I mean, like I am having a pretty great summer, and this is like the icing on the cake. I'm not even here right now.
Well, Jarrell, we are very proud of you. We want to thank you for that incredible match. Enjoy yourself. Celebrate tonight because you certainly deserve it. Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Let's have a pose here with Jarrell and Dave Fink as they center up on that court there. What an amazing match as Jarrell Bastidas just probably won the greatest match that he's ever won here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino as he defeats Emmett Peixoto in the tiebreaker. And there he is. It's an emotional moment for Jarrell. He's reflecting. His brother comes in and says, you know, we own at least two or three of the biggest titles in America right now.